hear without my specs.
Can you know? Oh.
No, that's why I put my specs on so I can hear folk better. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good tip.
That is a good tip because we've been live for about 10 seconds now.
Oh, have we? Also, we have. Hello, everybody. You're a naughty man.
I've been trying to catch somebody out. You know, I've tried to catch Rigger out a few times where, you know, just to press the live button and no tell him. But he's always clicked on. So I think I finally done it. I finally caught somebody out. But good evening, folks. Sorry about a wee bit of gabbing there. Excuse that, you know. You know how women talk. These two have never met. Two ladies, they've never met, so they have to be give a gab as you do. So good evening, thanks for coming in. The end of another week. Friday's upon us again, and the weather's been crap. Basically, you know.
It's been worse than that here. It's been terrible.
What word describes worse than crap?
Double crap.
I suppose. Anyway, tonight we have Eileen from Phantom Seekers Paranormal.
Hi.
There's my B in, just so you know that comment, ladies.
Oh, hello, Sarah.
And we have a small friend from all the way down. We've got an upside down triangle tonight, actually. Before I introduce, I'm not introducing you, Rosie, so calm down. I've no wait to see your name, then you can do your foot thing, all right? You know. We've got Rosie Cardy in with the Ghoul Gang. Now, is that better? So, tonight we have an upside down triangle. We have Irene in the east, we have me in the west, and we have Rosie in the south. So it kind of goes with that, you know. That. Irene, you know Eileen.
Eileen.
Sorry, dear, sorry.
I've answered to worse.
You what?
I've answered to worse than that.
Bet you have. I mean, but we won't go. That's a whole different show. No, I'm saying. So Eileen is from the east of the country. You know, the posh part.
That's
you know,
right.
where they can afford middle names and stuff like that. You know, Rosie's from Southampton
with two middle names.
With two. That's just pushing it now. Two middle names.
I'm greedy.
And I'm from Kilmarnock. I'm originally from Glasgow, but I'm in Kilmarnock, so it's kind of like that. I don't even have a middle name. I've said this before. I've got a boring name because we couldn't afford a middle name. Do you know? It was either buy a loaf of bread or give that Wayne a middle name. So obviously the loaf of bread won.
Life is tough back then, eh?
I'm not getting much sympathy after you, Eileen, am I?
Oh.
I see, that's what I'm looking for. A wee or something like that.
You can share one of mine.
What's your middle names?
One begins with L, one begins with J. So it's Lavinia Jane.
Lavinia. Oh, no, that is posh.
Yeah. It was my great nan's name, and I was born on her birthday. Lavinia. So I've got Rosie, Jane, Lavinia, Cardy. Jane is my mum's middle name as well. So.
Lavinia is like something off of an Agatha Christie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like Tuppence. Tuppence and Lavinia.
It's not something you don't hear very often. My brother nicknames me Lasagna because he didn't want to call me Lavinia.
Oh well, yes.
So take me down a notch to the lasagna.
Well, thanks to the offer, Rosie, but I'll just stick there. You know, I don't think Scott Lavinia Mathewson would, or Scott Jane Mathewson could do very well.
Lavinia.
You know, I want something rugged and manly and threatening, like Hamish or something like that. You know, Bob. Call me Bob. No.
Scott Hugh Mathewson.
Scott Hamish McFudgeon Mathewson.
Scott Muckle Matheson.
Scott Muckle Macking.
Muckle Matheson.
Muckle Moo.
That's been very good.
Imagine this idea, Heathstone, if you're a massive name. If you'd have see these folk that get 20 names. And they'd be right in the side of a building, wouldn't they? Just pretty next to a house. And right out on the side of the building, Take for on and a wee heat store. You can fall down at the heat store with that. What does that say? What does that say? I ignore that comment as well. That's that's from my other half.
Oh, too much information.
Right, exactly. Don't believe everything you read. So as you can tell, folks, we do not have a topic because, to be honest, we could not be bothered making up one.
Just freestyle. We love
Exactly.
It's Freestyle Friday.
It's Free Friday, so if you have any questions for us, throw them in. We won't answer them, but it'd be nice just to see some questions up. Because we probably won't know the answers anyway. But we'll try. You ever get these? That used to annoy me. You get these panels, right? I've been on one or two of them before, and somebody would ask a question, about paranormal, and you'd all these cabbages on the panel with you, and none of them knew the answer, but they'd make it up.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hi, Nigel, buddy.
Hello, Nigel.
We had one guy on one of ours, bless him, he obviously watched it during the night. So we were live here at like 9 o'clock in the evening, and I think he was in America. So I did message him, and he was in America, but he watched it at like 2 o'clock in the morning for us. So I think he was commenting on there, and he was like, oh, okay, well, if you're not seeing my messages, then bye. So I did message saying, I'm sorry, but we were live a few hours ago because it's a time difference between, because he also commented on the English accent as well. So I was like, so yeah, we were live, but sorry we didn't get to your comment. So yeah, sorry if you're watching, but there was a time difference.
While on the subject of accents, Rosie.
Oh God, no.
Eileen, to put you in the picture, Rosie's been coming on our show for about 17 years now.
Feels like it, but I love it.
Yes. Anyway, and every time she's on, I always get her to do a wee Scottish accent because she's crap at it. And
Eileen, get
she's
your
really.
Right.
Hey, Laura, no, she really is abysmal. You usually say to people, "Oh, that was all right. That was a good effort." You get better. No, you just tell her that's crap. You know what I mean? So, the last time she read something off a book or something like that, or a Save the Whale pamphlet or some stuff like that, Not have anything against whales. Lovely creatures. So tonight, come on, let's hear it, Rosie. Give us, because you're up here in less than 2 weeks' time, hen.
I am. I'm going to be so bad. Do you know what, right? I'm going to read literally the back of my tablet box. So I'm thinking...
My tablet box. Did you hear that, Eileen? The back of my tablet box. Watch it.
I'm going to read... so it says, read the package leaflet before you. So I'm going to try those words. I thought,
right.
Good amount of read the package leaflet before use. Stacked.
That's crap.
Your face was like, oh.
You didn't Parliamo Glasgow.
Well,
I'm so bad.
I have threatened her that when they come out, I'm just going to take her and dump her on Argyle Street.
Oh.
Just bye-bye, cheerio. But she does try, bless her wee bum. She does try. She never gets there, but she tries, So, Eileen, how's your English accent?
Well, I did have an English accent up until about 5 years ago. Well,
Yeah.
I lived all over England for over 25 years. When I came back, I did have an English accent.
So you're originally from Scotland?
I'm from Scotland. I'm from Edinburgh originally.
Oh,
I've lived all over the country. And when I came back, I had a very corrupted accent, but the Scottish is coming back now, fortunately.
Oh.
So-
I was once asked, I lived in Norfolk for a while, and I remember I'd been out playing golf, and we popped in, couldn't be bothered cooking, so we popped into the chippy on the way home, and the guy behind the counter said, and what part of Wales are you from then? I said, well, it's the northern part. We call it Scotland.
Oh.
And then I've been on holiday in America. I was in California, and everybody thought I was Australian.
Oh, yeah, I've been like mistaken for Australian as well, and I'm like, oh, I've got real common accent that's not Australian at all. Common as mug.
I've never been mistaken for anything except Scottish.
Well, you're undoubtedly Ouija. There's no getting away from it.
Yeah.
I know, but nobody's ever says to me, "Are you from Pakistan?" or anything. Do you know what I mean? Nobody's ever said.
We're going to bring translators when we come up.
That's not surprising.
When did you land from Nigeria or something? Nobody's ever said that. They say you're from Scotland, right? I know. Another wee bit of sympathy for Eileen. Sod off for Rosie. Nothing. Absolutely void of emotions. So she is. But we used to get me. I used to go abroad a lot, and Tenerife, mostly in Lanzarote. You see, you get these touts out in the street, outside the bars, trying to drag your granny in, who's been dead for 5 years. They're still trying to drag her in to get some booking dinner, basically, and they always say, "Are you Scottish?" What? Or you're from Scotland. And then they say,
the heat might give it away.
Too much hair in the head.
The hanky on the head.
I don't know if folks still do that. That used to be quite common back in the 60s or so, I'm told.
I think I remember seeing, because we used to go to Fuerteventura quite a lot, and because the Scottish people used to be there way before us, because the school holidays break up before England do.
Right.
So they were always like pre-tanned, but there was always a couple of guys, quite like butchy guys, with their napkin on their head, like tied up in four corners.
Tied in the corners.
Yeah, I remember that as a kid.
I don't think I'd suit that kind of tied up. Plus, it probably rip. You ever tried tying up a Kleenex? It would just rip, wouldn't it?
Kleenex.
Did you ever see the episode of Rab C. Nesbitt, Scott, when he won the holiday in Spain? Rab and Mary went away with Jamesy and Ella. They won a holiday from the packet of frozen chips or something. That's hilarious. And he had the string vest on and the hanky. And
oh God! I know my mum used to watch I think I've watched some Raspberry Nesbitt, but I don't remember it. I remember the white string vest that
he had. Epic!
And, like,
at the time, I lived in Hertfordshire. I was working in Watford at the time, and every day when I went back into work, the following day, they were saying, "What on earth was all that?"
I love it, right? I remember that one because he comes out with that I've been psyched and honestly sandblasted, because he had a clean bandage on, didn't he? He had a clean bandage on all that one, and then I remember that one. There's Mr. Laffett. Hi, Mr. Laffett. Praise be, Hey, Parrot, I hope everything is good. Nice to see Scott's mug again. Can you see me now? He's got cheeky to hide seats upside down. His hair's down here and nothing else.
From Guess Who?
Aye, guess who side with my heat's up. That's why he wears a hat to disguise it. Bet you it is. That's where he wears a hat. You know what I mean? But I know Mr. Laffey, he might be the chap, but I'm still the better looking one, as we said the other week there, when you were on Rosie's show.
Yes, I think Brian was going to do a poll between who was better looking, Brian or Scott. So
Aye, what happened to the poll, Brian? Where is it? I've not seen it because I know who I'd be voting for. I'll face only a mother can love. I don't mention. I couldn't tell. I haven't seen my mother in 30 years. I don't know if she's above ground or below ground. I don't know. I'd be honest, she might be dead. I don't know. No, I mean, such is life. But so where's the poll, Mr. Lafferty, that you were going to do? Because I know who I'd be voting for.
I'll give you each one. I can't give just one.
I was just going to ask you two ladies that question, actually. No. Who would win?
Oh, no comment. Can't possibly comment.
Yeah,
no comment, Gov.
Right, Eileen, can you see that face in the car on the screen there?
Uh-huh.
Now compare that to this. Who's better looking?
No comment.
I think
That's not that, Mr. Matheson.
You see, I'm quite lucky because I've got a hideable neck. If you can see it.
Oh, why it's in a bowl neck?
I don't even need to do that. I can do it with this. Just disappears. Again, folks, we actually don't have a topic tonight. We don't have a clue what we're going to talk about. We're just going to talk dribble. And so far, we're 15 minutes in, and it seems to be going quite well. You know.
Oh dear.
Love you too, brother. Love you too. That's what he's doing it, isn't it? Love you. That's that.
Oh dear.
Rosie, you do it for me, because I can't.
Oh,
there we
that's
go.
Like that, wasn't it? I think that's I think that's how it. But I will talk. I ran this, but he was. I don't. He was forgotten. Well, meant to be forgiven, and it was funny. It was funny. But the thing that got me was everybody knew Arab Nesbitt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the same as Still Game. Rosie, I don't know if you know what Still Game is.
Brilliant.
Still game.
Still game. Jack and Victor.
Oh yes.
So you can see the penny dropping down the slot. And
Literally just dropped down.
I know that. You know.
Oh, that was epic. I actually cried at the last episode when they died. You know, remember the very last episode, and you saw them sort of walking.
Aye, that was yours. I'm eyes of people.
And they kind of disappeared.
Sarah is Isa, by the way. No kidding. Yes, quite bad. Aye, that was really, really sad. We just see them get up the mountain.
And then they disappeared.
And then they vanished, and then Isa vanished, and everybody else just, you know.
I think Navid and the barman were the only ones left.
Aye, everybody else. Nina. The thing was, you never ever seen Nina's face until the last episode.
That's right.
Then Bobby the man.
Bobby, that's right, Bobby.
I think Naveed, he clocked that as well. I think he died in it as well.
Bobby was left at the very end.
Aye, Bobby. I used to go swimming with Victor with Greg Hepton.
Did you really?
Aye, it was years and years ago. My second marriage. We were in Greyhead. Me and my ex were in Greyhead one. It was near Christmas, and I was in HMV, and she was in Marks and Spencer. She came back out to Marks and Spencer's and says, "Now this was logic for you know." Says that guy you like's in Marks and Spencer's.
You know that one.
I said, "What guy? The guy you like on the telly? He's in Marks and Spencer's."
Which one?
Give me a clue. And it was something like, of that comedy program you watch. But, well, you know. And I tell them you were in here buying DVDs and that you come in and see them. So I was like, I'm right, I'm going to find out who this is, you know. And it turned out it was Greg Hepno. I can't pronounce his second name. And I went in and I said, I believe my wife was talking to you. And he said, "Oh, yes, aye, you the guys buying the DVDs and stuff like that." And so we're talking away, and then a couple of weeks later, I was in the swimming on a Saturday morning in Pollock, which is an area in Glasgow, Rosie. And he was in with his wife and kids, and ended up saying hello. So we went on quite a few Saturday mornings where we'd meet each other.
Yo, Scott!
Oh, you know, the father, oh, and we'd end up sitting chatting away on a Saturday, and the rains would be, you know, drowning kind of thing, and we would, you know, the lifeguards would all be jumping in to grab the reins, and we would, you know.
It's funny though, isn't it? If you meet somebody out of their kind of where you expect to see them and you don't recognise them. Something really funny happened to me when I was working in Norwich. And it was tea break, and I went up to get cup of tea or coffee or whatever. And I walked into the staff room, and there's a guy sitting there. And I knew that I knew him, and I just thought, I must know him from one of the other offices. And I sort of just chatted to him. Oh, hello there. I said, have you had a cup of coffee? He said, no, I'll make you a cup of coffee. Will you? I'm here to see somebody. I'm here to see Ben. I said, well, he's downstairs at the moment. He'll be up in a minute. Let me make you a cup of coffee. And I made him a cup of coffee. And we're blethering away. And then Ben came up, and he said, oh, nice to meet you and everything. And off he went. And he had just walked out of the room, and I thought, that was Michael Ball. He was appearing at the theatre in Norwich, and he had been in a posh boarding school with my colleague Ben. So he thought he would call in and take him out to lunch. And there he is sitting I worked in the job centre in Norwich, and there he is, he's sitting in the tea room in the job centre in Norwich having a cup of tea.
That's the thing. I mean, they're just normal people.
But it was only after he went away, and then it clicked. I said, that was Michael Ball.
Oh.
And I thought it was Joe, somebody that wasn't us from faking him, or Cromer or something.
I met one of my chef's heroes as a chef, as I told you 10 years ago earlier. I got to meet Marco Pierre White, and
oh yes,
I was fresh out of college. I was at the Old Forge in in Otterbourne in Southampton. Mm-hmm. And he was rumoured to open up a restaurant in Winchester. But before he did that, he was going around to local areas that were busy at lunchtime for lunch. And one of the floor managers came running in. Oh my God, Marco Pierre White's out there. And I'm like, absolutely not. He is not at the Old Forge in Otterbourne. It's just a no. He said, no, honestly, it is. Get the tickets through. It was all of my stuff that I was cooking that day. And next minute, he wanted to meet the chefs that had been cooking his food. And I'm like,
oh my.
I've been butchering a cow this morning. I'm completely full of blood. Like, I'm not clean at all. And I'm thinking, I've got to find a spare jacket somewhere. So I'm trying to muddle around, trying to see if I've got one of the guys' jackets that I can just put on over the top. They're all skinny, and I'm a lady. I'm big up top. It weren't going round. So I just had to go out, and luckily enough, he liked that I was dirty. He said because otherwise he would be worried where his food come from if I was pristine clean. And I was like, nice to meet you. Bye. And that was it. I was just
that must be nerve-wracking to be a chef. To be judged by someone like that.
Yeah, it was obviously when waitresses and bar people, like the waitresses come in and they say that this person's out there, they're like, no, they're not, because they don't book the tables. They just see the rock up on one of somebody else books it. So you never know who's coming in. Mm-hmm. But yeah, by all means, he was out there. So two of us chefs went out, and I was just like, got back and I was phoning. Mum's like, Mum, I just met Marco Pierre White. I didn't ask him if he had any jobs going. My manager was stood right by me. So
I don't think that would have been doing well, but when you meet, I mean, I've met a few famous people over the years, and they're just normal, everyday people. You know, I mean, I'm a big Elvis fan, as everybody knows, and a few years back, Elvis's original band, the toured with him in the 70s, they were doing the interactive video. One of tours with it, and I went to see it, and I met James Burton, Ronnie Tutt, and Jerry Schiff, who were Elvis's musicians. I remember at the exhibition centre in Glasgow, and they came up and Facebook. Who's that? Could that be
Nicola?
Is that Nicola? Maybe
it might be. There's no name coming up for me either.
No.
Nicola, if that's you, can you put your name in the comments, though?
Yes, it's Nicola. It is Nicola.
Can you send her the link, Eileen? Because I don't know how to when I'm on here.
Right.
I don't know how to. But no, I met these guys, and these guys are legends in their own right, but they're just normal everyday guys. Do you know what I mean? But it's Nicola.
I remember my mum walking. So my mum and dad were picking me up from Gatwick Airport. Me and Andrea, my partner, and she's texted me saying, "Yep, I'm out wherever." And so we go out. She's nowhere to be seen. I'm like, Mum, where are you? You said you were at this terminal. Nowhere. Then I get a phone call 10 minutes later. Oh, I was chasing Keith Duffy around the airport because I saw him.
I would chase Keith Duffy around an airport.
I hate boys.
Can we keep it clean, ladies? It's not even 9 o'clock yet. Seriously.
I hate boys home, so I don't like him.
Oh, I
I'm
like
a lovely guy.
I didn't know who Keith Duffy was.
Duffy, the Boy Zone.
Yeah.
I was never, believe it or not, Eileen, I was never a Boy Zone fan.
Well, that surprises me.
How do you have that kind of look about me? But I was in the Boy Zone.
That sort of boy band, you know.
I've got that boy band image.
It must be your boyish good looks.
With that, you mean?
You're the double. You're in the middle.
With that. Oh, this. With that. That's my deep in thought look.
That's like your man at CNA look.
Oh, I don't remember. Remember CNA?
Man,
No, the Black Magic man. Mind the guy who used to jump off his clutch with a box of chocolates.
Magic.
Aye. You might not remember him, Rosie.
No.
It was adverts. See the talk was Black Magic, right? Years ago, there was adverts on, and it was a guy who was just in a black jumper and hell of a well dressed actually with black trousers, lovely shoes and that. Obviously, the box of chocolates. They would climb down mountains and dive off the cliffs into the sea and everything to deliver chocolates.
Get a helicopter and climb up a mountain and scale the big building and get into the women's bedroom with a box of chocolates. I
Like
don't
Mission
believe
Impossible.
it. Bugger off.
And what always amazed me was the chocolates were always intact.
They were with the little calling card.
Aye, I didn't get a wee card. Now, if you jump off a cliff into an ocean holding a box of dairy milk, what's going to happen? Think about it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
See, you're with the old gens today, Rosie. Hi, Nicola.
Hey, Doll, how are you?
Not too bad. I had to do the taekwondo run there, get the granddaughter from taekwondo.
Oh, you didn't know. What and what? One of them. Nicola Foles is from Whispered Souls Paranormal.
Nice.
That- So this is Rosie, Nicola. She's for the Ghoul Gang.
Nice to meet you.
And this is Eileen. She's for Edinburgh.
Who's that in the top corner? Nice to meet you, Eileen.
She's for the other side of. So we're actually, Nicola, we're actually just talking rubbish.
Just for a change.
Just for a change. I don't know if she can hear. I don't know. Can she?
Can you hear us, Nicola?
I can't hear you. I've just turned this audio down. I'm glass in the ears of myself here. Just hold on. Is that better? Yes, like.
No, you're really glitchy.
Oh, I don't know what's happened.
She's good at sitting. She's good at sitting still, isn't she? Like that.
Good at the taekwondo, like.
See, she's got a book band look
I'll
there.
go on the phone.
Go on the phone.
I'll try it on the phone and see if it's any better on the phone rather than this laptop. Okay, give us
This
2
is
seconds.
where we should have the Potter's wheel, Scott. Technical difficulties.
The Potter's wheel.
Rosie won't have a clue what we're talking about.
How what does she think that I know you're talking about Potter's wheel?
The Potter's wheel. Don't you remember the Potter's wheel?
You just said I'm young enough to be in a boy band. The Potter's wheel, that's for making pots and stuff, isn't it?
Right, but don't you remember on the BBC, if there was a transmission issue, this little film would come up and it was like a Potter's wheel. And that would be on forever until the picture decided to come back.
Was that black?
Don't you
Was
remember
that-
that?
No, I don't. I remember the test card. Remember that?
Oh yes, but this
The
was
lassie with the dummy. Not the dummy, the puppet thing. You know.
with the blackboard.
I'm back.
Oh, that's
That's
better.
better now.
Oh.
We just couldn't hear you though. So this is Rosie for the Ghoul Gang for Southampton.
Nice to meet you, Rosie.
Nice to meet you, Nicola.
And see, that's Eileen from the other side of Scotland, but we'll not go there. You
Hello,
know,
Eileen. Nice to meet you.
I suppose. So, Nicola, we don't have a topic, as I said, you know, we're just talking crap, basically. But so far, we've just talked crap. Well, I've been told I've got boy band looks.
Which boy band?
Ask your pal there. Ask your friend, you know, phone a friend over there.
I don't know what boy bands you followed, Eileen.
But, well, seamless.
Maybe Bad Manners. The wee man of the Bad Manners.
Or, right.
The
That's
happy
the
birthday. Yes.
No, it seemed like Boyzone, Keith Duffy.
Sweet mother of God, you're looking at her like Keith Duffy.
Rosie's mother was chasing Keith Duffy through the airport.
When she was trying to pick me up from the airport, but I hate Boyzone. I don't like them.
My friend Nolene in Ireland, honest to God, she was mad. I mean, I remember bringing her to Boyzone concerts when there were a small band starting off in Ireland before they ever hit it big. And she loved Keith Duffy. She loved him that much that her eldest daughter was convinced Keith Duffy was her dad until she was about 10.
Could you imagine?
Point a photograph out of Keith Duffy. She goes, "That's my daddy."
Oh no!
That was good, like.
Oh, you see, I don't hate them, don't know them. They're
You
absolutely.
do
lovely
realise that we have lost all credibility in the paranormal.
Go on. Sorry. Seriously, you're not too old to be in a boy band. Well, I don't know, is there a certain age you need to be?
Oh dear. I bet all the boy bands are well into their 50s and 60s now, aren't they?
Well, you know, so when I hit 50, I'll consider re-entering my boy band phase. Right. So, well, we talked some paranormal. What do you think? Maybe.
That might be a good idea.
Right. What will we talk about? I don't know. What can we- I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what I will talk about. Right. I'm not going to name names or anything. You know, 'cause we don't. Well, two things I'm going to talk about actually. Two things, and it's not going to be a rant. Well, it might be, but it's no.
You're getting very serious.
Right.
Rosie, when he says it's not going to be a rant, you're guaranteed it's a rant.
No.
Oh, that's Charlie and Locks just said.
Oh, Charlie, I hope you're shaved, Charlie. Put a picture up the other day. And he still had the bald head. And where's the comment? Hold on. I've lost my comment. Wait a minute. What happened there? I've lost the comment. He badly needed a shave, Charlie. Right. Hey, Hatchie, buddy. Anybody want to talk? Right, deep south? No idea. You can start one called the Baldy Boys. Nicola keeps coming and going. I'm getting really slagged after night, isn't I? I mean, you're still under the weather. Hope you have a speedy recovery, young man. But Baldy, thank God. All really says thank God she said boys.
I'm just going to get a charger for this phone.
Charger. She's going to see. I can do the Irish accent. She's going to get a charger for her phone.
She's going to get a charger.
You're actually better than that. The Irish Scottish. Go to Ireland. Don't come here. Go to Ireland. You'll fit right in.
I got to be. My dad's family's Irish.
Going to get a charger for my phone. Plug it into the wall.
That one I can say curly whirly.
Curly whirly.
Curly whirly. A battered curly
Purple.
whirly.
Oh, what's this? Somebody used to get us to say purple. Oh, purple alarm. Oh, what was it? Sarah, you're in the chat. What was it? Purple alarm something. Well, that's going to annoy me now. And I could never say it. Purple.
Still can't say it.
I can't remember it to say it. Or try to say it.
Oh dear.
Burglar alarm.
Burglar alarm.
Purple burglar alarm.
Purple
Purple alarm.
burglar alarm.
I say it fast.
Purple burglar alarm. Purple burglar alarm.
I got it because you still got that English in you.
A wee bit.
Purple burger alarm.
Purple burglar alarm.
I'm purple now. I'm going into the not the purple. I'm the purple.
Just easy to say, is it? Oh, you Nicola, you must be doing my Irish accent.
Let's hear it.
No, it's already gone now because I went to get my charger and plug it into the wall because my phone was going dead. You know what I'm saying, Paddy? Like
That's just so bad, like, isn't it?
was that a bad one? Was that not any good?
Oh, charger.
Would I
I
not
need to
get
go
away
home
with
and
that?
get my accent topped up.
Well,
Right,
no
so
bother
let's
coming.
get back to your rant.
Aye, so as I was saying, right, two things, right? What were they? Aye, right. I read a thing the other day, right, somewhere, you know, and these people want to remain best team in the world, right? And for some reason, it really got on my ends. There's a word in between my and ends, by the way, but we'll just, skip that word.
Right.
So basically, I mean, it might seem petty, it might seem stupid, I don't know, maybe it's just the way I read it, but to me, they were claiming we're the best team in the world. Everybody else is below us. And I thought it was a bit of a kick in the teeth to people reading it. Do you know what I mean?
No, just an ego.
Everyone's equal. We're all doing the same thing. There's the same thing out there that you're investigating. You can't. There's no like rule book to what we're doing. You can't have. There's no gold medal. It's what it is.
Ego is a terrible thing.
It's the same as when people say they're the number one team in Britain. Bollocks. They're no. There's no such thing. Do you know what I mean? Everybody's, as Rosie says, we're all the same. There's no number one team anywhere. Everybody's the same. You might have more experience in another team if you've been doing it longer. Fair enough. But to turn around and say, we're the best team in the world. Oh, no, you're not. That was rant one. That really annoyed me. You know what I mean? But sometimes it's the wee things that annoy you. Wee petty things. You just want to slap them with a frying pan.
I take it that was an English team. That was an English team.
How'd you guess?
It wasn't me.
I know of who you speak.
But basically, it's what kind of you just want to slap them with a dead granny.
Yeah.
Come here a minute. Bang.
What you have to do is throw your stars at them really hard so it gets them.
I don't have any stars.
I know.
I don't have any.
Facebook are putting pressure on every time I log on now. It's, can we give you stars to throw? No, I don't want to.
I don't want stars. Do you keep your stars? Keep your stars in the sky. Tim. I don't know who Tim is. Surely you're old enough to remember the telephone box where it went digital. Love from Deep South. Don't lose it, mate. I do remember when you used to put the 10 pence in and stuff like that, and then mind the pips. The pips.
Remember button A and button D.
No. We in Scotland, we couldn't afford two buttons. It was one. Just put your coin in.
No black like public telephone. It was button A and button B.
But as soon as the pips went, you were panicking, weren't you?
Your change.
Just over grabbing somebody from outside, just robbing them for 20 pence. Give it, my pips away. Do you know what I mean?
It was the queue stand outside the telephone box. So it was, and you were maybe rigging somebody's house that actually had a phone to get talking to somebody. Or there was a queue, the next thing the telephone would have rang and there would have been, is so-and-so here? Oh no.
I remember the old button A and button B, and it was the old pennies, not the new currency. It was the old pennies, and it was £4, and you had to put your £4 in the box at the wee slot at the top, right? And then when your call connected, you had to press button A, and your money went away. And if you wanted your money back because they didn't answer, you pressed button B, and you got your money back. But a friend of mine from school told me, and I did it, so it worked. If you got a lollipop stick, it would fit in where the little bar came across, and instead of putting your pennies in, you just had to put your lollipop stick in and scooch the bar along.
Scooch the barrel.
Lollipop stick and you moved this little bar.
You're such a posh.
You moved this little bar and thought you'd put a penny in.
You're
So
such a posh thief,
this
Irene.
went viral all around the school. So every lunchtime, all the kids would be running up to the public homeworks with a lollipop stick.
And Glasgow lunchtime, all the kids were running to the ice cream van to get a single fag. You know, to save 10 pence on a singlet. That's what the kids in Glasgow went. Sod your phone books, we're going for a smoke. No, what used to get me about the phone boxes was, see all the cards you used to get fined, you know, for fun, dial 0800, you know, ask for Petunia, you know. £5 I spent phoning the numbers, they never bloody answered.
You know what Brian saw when Brian came over from Canada, he saw a red phone box, and it was actually in use still, actually, which I'm quite surprised. Normally they're like toilets now because they just smell of wheel all the time. And he was so happy. I've got a picture of him. He has just got this beautiful smile because he's in a red phone box. And I was just like, oh, that's cute.
We still have it now. We have, in the high street, we still have the red boxes. Nowhere else, but the ones in the high street have got sort of preservation orders on them.
Right.
So they're still there.
In Glasgow, they use the public toilets on a Friday, Saturday night. You know, and because there'd be windows, you always thought, well, I know me, but the people using them thought that nobody could see them because the windows were small. There was about 40 windows in the thing. You know, but they were in there, they were invisible because there'd be windows. Anyway, second rant. You ready?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I mean, it's called copying locations, but it's no. It's when you put, we went to a location the other day, right, and we picked up a posters, pictures, photographs, geez Louise, a couple of photographs up on the page, right? A day later, certain team that we used to have associations with, they put up this big long story about that location. Do you know what I mean? No, yes. I mean, I'm not saying that every location is exclusive and folk can't go there. But if they want to know about locations, just ask people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Instead of spying. Because, I mean, we know that they're watching our group, you know, under false names or whatever the hell it is, you know. But to me, you know.
It sounds very familiar.
It does, doesn't it? But, I mean, they'll probably watch this show sometime, or one of their people will watch it. And if you watch it, you know, stop hiding behind fake profiles. Just come into the chat, put a comment on the page, you know, ask where you were, how did you get there, what was it like, stuff like that. Don't hide behind, you know, Betty McFludgeon or something like that, typing away, you know, do you know what I mean? That really annoyed me when I seen it and thought, spying much? You know what I'm saying? Question mark, spying much?
It's not
I think it would have been different if they had been, like users, if they'd actually been to the location. You know, that's totally acceptable. If they'd been to the location and says, look, we've just been here, or we're going tomorrow, this is the history. But if they'd just seen it because you had been there and then wrote that, you know, yeah, I can see why you're peeved.
I mean, this is one of the teams that says they can clean houses. You know,
but it's actually it's okay, because what you do is you just watch back, and then you watch how the haunting of the location changes. The history gets manipulated, and they tell a story that you know is totally false, and people will believe it.
As we have learned, Nicola, haven't we? Timelines in history has been changed to fit.
And it's when I mean, Lauren, our team, Jennifer, Laura does a fantastic job of writing stories, and we've seen some stories on this team's page, you know, and you know, you type the first line into Google and the whole story comes up. So it's been copy and pasted and stuck on their page. Yeah. Laura takes her time and she digs into the story and puts it together. Sometimes she might, you know, get things right. You know, we all get stuff right now and again. It's what happened at one of their events. Well, no, you talking about the door with the glass window with the woman behind it. If she is, I'll tell you about that one. But I mean, they claim they can clean house. They couldn't clean houses with a transit van and a vacuum cleaner. Do you know what I mean? They couldn't do that, you know. Aye, so they've done an investigation, and they put up on the page that they caught an apparition behind us. It was a wooden door with a glass square window in it, and you can see this woman and behind the door in the other room. You know what I mean? And they're saying this is an apparition. We can't explain it. It was a woman with a ponytail and a flashlight. You know, and if you look to the photos, you see the same woman earlier on standing in the crowd, you know, getting her photo taken. Who's where she's behind, but this was an apparition. And it's bollocks with that, you know, and then you go to a location and bang a day or too late, whatever it was. They've written a big, you know, folk have written a big story on where you've been.
I mean, what bugs me is, for some teams, everything is paranormal. Absolutely. Every little squeak, every little flicker of light or noise or floorboard, it's all paranormal.
And it's when they put the video up and you can clearly see that they've leant over something and it's clearly moved because you can see their top touch it. But oh my God, it's happened. I'm like screaming at the screen, like, no, just no. Like, if you want to believe it, that's fine, but like, don't.
So why do people feel, if they have a genuine interest in paranormal, why do they feel it necessary, if they're going out an investigation, that they absolutely have to get activity? Because we all know that just doesn't happen.
Nope. Every night's a different night.
You know,
you can have the
you
deadest
can go
of
and
nights.
sit for hours and not get Scooby.
Yeah.
But for some teams, they feel it's this, oh my God, we caught this. Oh my God, look at this. Why can't you be honest and just we went out and nothing happened?
Yeah. No, it is like, it's like when one of the locations we go to down here is called it's the Mausoleum. So our first live this year, we've changed our podcasts up. We're doing them outside. So Scott was our first one with Sarah, and Brian also jumped on as well.
Because he has to be involved in everything.
All the kit literally goes off all the time. The cat balls, the K2s, everything goes off. And that night, nothing happened. And I was like, do you know what? I actually quite like that, because it shows that we're not faking it. Because we're always live when we go there. We did Global Ghost Hunt there, and it was electrifying because we had a storm that night as well. So we were, and I always say, I can't tell you it's paranormal. It's unexplainable. We try and debunk it. If we can't debunk it, it's unexplainable. I always never say this is paranormal, because I can't tell you if it was or not. You
can't be definitive, can you?
No.
All you can say is this happened and we can't explain it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that night with you, Scott, on our live, we had one cat ball go right at the beginning. I think it was before we even went live. I said they like the cat balls here, and one went off, and that was it for the whole night. But we did get other bits when one Mansfield, which some words come out which we know one of the ladies there always calls me a certain name. But yeah, I can't. It's tiring watching groups out there begging to be up there with their paranormal stuff. Great, if you've got it,
funny.
You've got it.
It can be quite funny as well.
Yes.
Some is, you know, some of it's hilarious, you know, and it's when they make these outlandish claims and stuff like that. And I mean, this team, they done a location near us, you know, Craigie Castle was called, but it's not so much a castle now. I think there's a couple of walls left or something, but it dates back to the 1300s. It's got very, very, very slight ties to William Wallace. I think he visited that or something, you know, but there's no a big association, but he is connected to it. And this team done it, and they picked up on William Wallace and his horse.
Hey.
We can hear a horse. They're in the middle of the countryside, in fields, and they could hear a horse. But shocker. Because you don't expect to find a horse, you find them shop malls and stuff like that. You don't find them in fields. But did you hear that? I heard that. That's a horse. That must be William Wallace's horse.
Or if people are in woods, they're out doing an outdoor investigation in the middle of a wood, It's rustling. Can you hear that? Yeah. You're in a wood.
Yeah. Sticks are snapping because it's a fox walking past.
Eileen and I were out last week, Eileen, wasn't it? Yeah. Eileen and I were out at an old cemetery last week, and we were reviewing audio. And at one stage you could hear this bang, 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 you know, and it'd been so easy for us to turn around and go, we have picked up on the drums from the battle that was just across the field. It wasn't. It was a lorry reversing, because even though it seemed so loud, when we didn't hear it at the time, but at the very end of the recording, you could hear the beep, 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 the reversing, you know, of the lorry, you know. So
it could have been a haunted lorry.
Aye, maybe, you know, because, Laura, a big comment, 2 seconds I read. It also gets on my go when they copy paste information, pass it off as their own story. Sometimes a story of historic location can take me days of research, checking my facts over and over, and then these beep come along and copy and paste. It just makes a mock of research. And it does, you know, and it's when you try and pass it on, also story of grave out loud. And I'm not sure of that one. But what she's saying there, right? It rips it out of people that actually take time to sit and research it, you know, and come out with facts. I watched a show last year, I think, maybe beginning of last year, and the 2 people on it were talking about Edinburgh, you know, the bolts, and, you know, we've done a lot in it, the same as yourselves. Well, no, you, Rosie, you're from Southampton, but, you know, you're excused.
Hopefully over in a week's time I will be, though.
Well, hopefully you'll be fine. You're playing on land in a field or something like that, you know, Stranraer or something. It's near enough, you know.
Yeah.
Aye, that's what she's right. Aye, I'll tell you this first. We've done a lot in Loudon Cup for the past two and a bit years. They done a live for Loudon Cup one night, and they had somebody standing in the corner. Well, we've got to take you to Loudon Cup. I forgot your name there, Rosie. You know, I know. They're slap.
Could have called me Jim, I still would have answered.
All right, Hamish. Well, they did this. They did this live, and this lassie standing beside part of the old cup, and she says, "The guy, you know, name's Thomas, and he was a Covenanter." And she was writing up bits and pieces of information. We were there about a week or 2 later, and I happened to be standing in the same spot that she'd been standing. And I turned around, and there's a headstone on the wall. See the picture of headstones on the walls? There's a headstone against the wall, sorry. And it said Thomas, involved in the Covenanters. I'm thinking, she was just reading off that headstone.
Oh dear.
Do you know what I mean?
I think the thing is, when you go back to the likes of Laura, who researches the stuff before she posts it, right? That's going to be so obvious at some time, because sometimes somebody's going to say to her, Laura, blah, blah. She'll have understood every word that she's written. When somebody just cuts and pastes and doesn't even credit anybody else, if you ask them, you know, what does it mean about this? They haven't got a clue, because they actually haven't researched it or learnt it themselves before they've wrote about it.
Mm-hmm. It's
like the Covenanters. Like, I'm not from Scotland. It took me long enough to get my head around what a Jacobite was, you know, and the fact was that there was Jacobites in Ireland, you know, and it was trying to tie the two of them in and trying to understand that whole concept. And then because we're at a graveyard recently and there's the Covenanters are buried there, I'm going, what's a Covenanter? So I had to go back and not just Google what is a Covenanter, actually go back to their timeline to try to understand what these people were actually fighting for, you know. So
of course, in Old Pentland we have the Covenanters and we have the Knights Templar as well. We have the Knights Templar as well as the Covenanters there.
Back to graveyard.
Rosie's looking a bit lost talking about Covenanters.
But that's it. But Rosie has to say, but I was in the same boat, you know, because I hadn't got a clue.
It's history, and it's paranormal what you're doing. You're also learning at the same time. It's amazing. And yes, I'm completely stumped on the Covenanter.
I just call them Coventers. You know?
I'm literally reading Laura's comment like Covenanter.
But what a Covenanter was back in the 1630s, King James introduced his version of the Bible, and he basically made a law, everybody must follow this, that what this Bible says. But also all over Scotland, people with different views, religious views and what have you. So a group of people got together, and in 1638 in Greyfriars Kirk, they signed the National Covenant, which was basically telling the king, look, we like you as a king, but we want to follow our own religion. So this sparked, King James saw this as treason. And that sparked the War of the Covenanters. So that's what Covenanter was. It comes with the name National Covenant. They were known as Covenanters because they disagreed with the King's decision on, the King James's Bible. There'll be a history lesson for you, Dol.
Yeah, it's history to me. Again, I would never have known until you guys would speak about it. Obviously,
you can't escape it in Scotland.
I was blue history, but as I was saying, these two people done one in Edinburgh, and it was Jamie Kistorpin mailed me, and everything that happens with Greyfriars and what have you, he gets flagged up in it. And somebody contacted him and said, look, have you seen this? So Jamie watched it, and so Jamie got in touch with me, and he said, watch this podcast, can we do a show? Because every single fact in it was totally wrong.
Did you see the thing I put up on my page today? They've been having more problems at Greyfriars. And I don't think it's just paranormal people. I think it's Harry Potter people as well now that are causing a lot of damage in the cemetery. And it's looking perilously close to being locked up. It was a big... I put something on my page about it today.
I do admit I did do the Harry Potter trio. Greyfriars.
But there's been a lot of damage getting caused in the cemetery now.
That must be at night time, Eileen.
No, I'm saying it's all times now. Their argument was that we can't have paranormal people coming in because the damage that was being caused and the bad sort of effect it was having. It was attracting the wrong type of person into the cemetery. There was damage being done. But on top of that, and that's why they said you can't do investigations there now. But then on top of that, they've got hundreds and hundreds of Harry Potter people arriving with their capes in their rooms and getting up to all manner of quite disrespectful stuff, I think, at times in the cemetery.
I think they'll soon start charging. They'll start charging people to go in.
Well, it's causing structural damage again, Nicola, and it's looking suspiciously like the gates might be there.
I mean, we've done a lot in Greyfriars. We're quite friendly with Jamie Kistorpin, who runs City Dead Tours. His office is based in Greyfriars, so we've spent a lot of time there and in the prison as well. And if they shut it down, if they lock it, it's going to have a big impact because it's a major tourist attraction. But saying that, happy times. I mean, look at that. It was an American woman. Was it last year? Ripped the plaque off that wall. The year before. And broad daylight. She just took it. Hi, Daniel, buddy. Just ripped it off the wall and away hitting it. And as Eileen was saying, that's the reason investigations were banned in Greyfriars, because of the damage that was getting done. The people, because don't forget, the flooding wall runs, splits Greyfriars in two, basically, and people just think it's a wall, but it's not, it's a flooding wall. And they don't understand what it means, and it was costing them thousands of pounds, and the council just enough.
I've actually seen people with penknives chipping at that wall.
It's so... Oh, there's Mr. Tom's in it. Hey, everybody. I know we usually go live at 9, but we decided to go live a wee bit earlier tonight, so we've been on for about an hour talking gibberish, buddy. But we're still here. Now we're talking a wee bit paranormal now. We thought maybe 45 minutes of talking crap is enough, so we'll talk paranormal for 10-15 minutes. But it's a shame. I mean, when you think of the history that's there,
just lets it all down, like you say. You know you can't go there, like, or it's going to become that you can't go there to do investigations, or be free in an evening that you can just kind of walk through these cemeteries, because people are ruining it for other people. Like, just be respectful. For one, it's a cemetery, so people are there to lay to rest. The paranormal field of being respectful in a way of trying to communicate and help their memories live on and be who they used to be and share what they used, like who they are. But to damage stuff, that's bad.
Well, that was a classic case that Scott said, the American tourist. It was an old ancient plaque screwed onto the actual perimeter wall, and she just wrenched it off and put it in her handbag and went away with it.
Are we back to somewhere in America? There's Eric's other half in. Giving me a note. Hope you're doing well and keeping Eric in line. Right? You see a lot of graveyards locked up. We were at Inverness last week for a couple of days, and we did quite a bit of driving, and we passed quite a few graveyards, old ones, but they were all chained up. And you think, well, why are they chained up here? Is it because folk are just getting in and wrecking the place? And it's so sad because there's so much history in there, and we'd love to get in and, have a dig about. That's probably the wrong expression to say. Right?
Just keep digging a hole, Scott.
Just keep digging that shovel. Have a look around.
I think some of the old graveyards, though, Scott, are chained up for safety reasons, because some of the headstones have recited, they're fallen. People have, I know at home there was a young child was killed by a fallen headstone, and so if people are going in, if they're tripping over headstones that are out of the ground, they're actually suing the councils that are responsible for the land. So they're chaining up a lot of the old graveyards, not because they've been destroyed, but because of litigation, basically, as well.
Council actually caused a real rumpus a few years ago now, pre-pandemic, so it must be about 10 years, maybe a little bit longer than that. Edinburgh Council went round all the cemeteries, and any headstones that were the slightest little bit dodgy, they actually tipped them over.
But they did, but that's because they were getting sued.
There was a huge outcry, because families weren't being told it was being done, and they were going to visit the loved ones, and their headstones had been pushed over, and as they had fallen over, they're broken. There was a huge, particularly up at Liverton Cemetery in Edinburgh, and the amount of headstones that it was official vandalism, kind of, and it didn't go down well.
Oh dear.
But it's paranormal teams as well that are doing it, tourists and young guys and all the rest of it. But some of the graves themselves are sinking, you can fall. That's true, that's very true. But you get paranormal teams, because Jamie tell me a couple of times, you get paranormal teams and are climbing their headstones and stuff like that in the middle of the night. You think, why? Why are you climbing their headstones, you cabbages? Why not walk down it? Do you know what I mean? It's no, our headstones not exactly massive, or some of them are, but the majority of them, you can walk round it. Why climb out it?
Yeah.
Just compute.
There's one.
Sorry, Rosie, carry on.
No. There's one headstone down here. It's in Bishop's Waltham, and the headstone has a heart. They do like an ECG reading. It has that on the back of it, and it doesn't have nothing else on it. It has the person's name and their dates and stuff, and a little message from their family. But on the back of it, it has like an ECG bit, and I'm thinking, I want to know why, because those sort of things are the interesting things of why have you got that on there? What was you a nurse? Was you a doctor? Or is that something why you died? Do you have something wrong with your heart or something? But I would never straddle it or climb over it or I'd probably sit next to it and look at it and study it. But yeah, I wouldn't be
I can't believe you said straddle it.
With this headstone's probably halfway up my side, so I'll probably have to straddle it and just I would probably.
Please use another word.
It's not 9 o'clock. There's another cemetery down here. If you want, when you guys are down here, I can take you during the day, but during the night, it's just a no-no. It's Southampton Old Cemetery. You've got absolutely beautiful graves there. You've got some in the floor with metal doors. You've got old metal ones and headstones. But during the night, the last time I went there was probably about a year and a half ago. I won't say one of our lads' names only because for his safety reasons. But we're walking through the cemetery and pitch black. Next minute, one of our ladies shines this torch on this guy. He's got his top off. He is a unit. And I'm like, oh my God, just keep walking. And he's like, has anyone seen my wallet? And we're like, no, just keep walking. No, not seen your wallet. I'm thinking, I'd probably be more worried about where your top is. Next minute, this other man runs across us. So I'm thinking from the same area he was at. So I'm like, they're dogging. Yeah. And it's a known area for dogging. And we walk.
Why do you go out walking your dogs in the night time?
Well,
to see half-naked men in the graveyard.
Do you know what? He wasn't attractive either, but the next bit he's less attractive as well. Because the fact I decided, right, do you know what? Let's just get out of here because I just feel uncomfortable with him around. So we turn back. He's now the opposite side of us, like to the other side of the path. So he's now back on my side, and one of the lads recognizes him, and he moved to the other side of us. And he went, just move quickly. I was like, why? Because he's just got out of prison, I hear. And he goes around Southampton with a machete. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, my knees flared up with my arthritis. I was trying to hobble, skip and jump all at the same time just to get away from this guy. My mum was with us. So I was like, Mum, you stay in front of me. I'll guard you. I'm not. I probably wouldn't be able to.
That was also an issue in Greyfriars for a while. And in St Cuthbert's, it still is to a certain extent, and Colton Hill.
Really? It's just like...
You get all kind of nefarious practices going on in the graveyards at night time.
Did you say Bavarious?
Nefarious.
This is Bavarious. No idea what you mean, I don't know what Nefarious means.
Dodgy.
Dodgy. Dodgy goings on.
All right, you forget I mean that stuff. That way me. Say no more. Aye, got you now. Rosie, you can get Laura's books when you're up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Laura stays 5 minutes further even that. I've seen people camping in graveyards. Why not? We were actually going to do it once, you know. But we decided that against me and buddies up the road from Bishop's Wharf.
Actually, we'll have to meet up. Bishop's Wharf, I just mentioned it, is the gravestone with like the little heart on it. Hatchie's from there as well.
He's from Southampton area. But I mean, you get
the woods.
I mean, I used to drink in graveyards, you know, up till last week. I'm kidding.
Until Eileen caught you.
No, I started wearing so I had to get up. No, but when we were teenagers, you know, before we go to the parks and all the rest of it, or sit in our granny's room and get hammered, but we went to graveyards because it was the one place the police never ever checked.
No.
Oh, they do now.
You know, well, they did, but back, I'm talking, you know, it's 1995 when I was a teenager.
Away with your bottle of Bucky.
No, it's the one that I cannot stand. I cannot stand.
Bailey?
Oh, it's disgusting. Bucky. You've heard the Bucky, Rosie, haven't you?
Buckfast.
I've seen Esper drink. Bucky. Buckfast wine.
It's a
tonic wine.
I was saying it's a tonic wine. But seemingly you can only buy it in Scotland, even though it's made down south.
That's not true. That is not true.
See, I don't drink it, so I couldn't tell you.
It's not true because it's actually served on draft at home.
Is that?
Buckfast
I have never seen a bottle of Bucky in my life.
Well, not on draft. It's served as shots in the bars at home.
I've seen it on I've seen it, but that's about the only time I've seen it.
Oh, it's a very popular drink in the Glasgow area.
You know, when I did my Scottish accent earlier, I was reading from the back of my medication packet. I can't have alcohol. So...
Actually, when you did your accent, Rosie, Nicola wasn't here, and I take for Nicola to miss out. So come on.
Let's hear it.
Oh my god! Okay,
she's really Nicola. She's really crap.
Really crap. Eileen's face was like, oh, okay. Block her from this group. Do you know what? I'm going to read somebody's comment. Like, I know we haven't got any new ones up, but I'm going to read somebody's comment. Do you want me to read this one that you've popped up, Scott?
No.
Or can I choose? Can I choose the comment?
Yeah, go for it. No. Definitely not.
All right, no, that one.
Okay, you do it.
Right, we'll all do it with our own accents. I want to hear your Scottish accent first, Rosie.
Oh, sugar. You do when they did live in Loudon and they're getting and something.
Very good.
What? Did you say I was good?
This part was first.
That was actually quite good.
Swahili. Was that not Swahili?
No, she got the ooze.
Ooze? Oh, you know what? He texts just the way he talks.
That's. You know, Nicola had to write, when you come up to Scotland, Rosie, as long as you got your ooze, you'll be fine. You know, never come to Scotland without an oo. There's why, for whoever wants it, for the rain accent.
That was Tracy Henderson. My friend Tracy.
I can't see anybody's names at all, so.
I'll say that in my Irish accent, what do you think?
Go on then.
I with a charger in the wall. I just
popped in.
I
just popped in.
Hey, Eileen, I just popped in to see you're discussing. Hey, Nicola, looking well. No.
Well, the last bit sounded a bit Scottish.
I've just popped in.
All right, Eileen, smarty, you try in an Irish accent.
You need to speed it up, though.
I just popped in to see you discussing. Nicola, looking well. Again,
it's Scottish still.
Listen, on the subject, absolutely not paranormal. Did you watch King?
Brilliant.
Brilliant, eh? But I found it very difficult to understand because he talks so quickly, and their accents are really, really quite, very Irish.
The thing about it is, though, Eileen, when I'm here with using, I slow my speech completely down.
Do you?
This is me talking slow, and I don't know if you know. Sometimes in an investigation, if I get excited, I go full pelt. Yes. But at home,
get excited. Get excited.
But you do. You go full pelt. But the thing about it is, though, I have to slow down my speech for using, or you wouldn't have a clue what I was saying half the time.
I had friends. He was from Liverpool and he was a broad Scouser, and he was married to a lady who was from Belfast, and she was very Belfast, really hard. And after about half an hour of listening to the Scouser on one side and the Belfast, what a headache I used to get. What a combination.
Try listening to 5 drunk women at the same time when you're sober. That's a headache.
But what's it like here? We're talking about accents. What's it like when you get a beautiful accent on an EVP?
Yes.
Now, that's nice when you're getting an actual accent in.
Now, when we got that lovely one at Hales, I kiss him here. Remember? Remember at Hales Castle, the EVP, when we'd been talking about Bothwell and his missus? And I was asking questions about Mary's behaviour and blah, blah, blah. And we got that EVP, I kiss him here. Remember that?
It was
very seductive, that, wasn't it? Yeah, I kiss him here.
I kiss him here. Because I've been asking about, it was the last place that Mary Queen of Scots had lived with her then new husband, Bothwell, before she was carted off. That was the last place that they had actually stayed together. And we'd been calling out and asking lots of questions about Bothwell and Mary's behaviour, blah, blah, blah. I can't quite remember what the immediate question was, but that's what we got. And
the thing about it was, too, at the time, is that you could actually hear. Remember the boys went out to say we were convinced you could actually hear the talking, but we just couldn't pick up what it was saying, until we went back and reviewed the audio.
That's the thing, when you get in a wee for the accents, I mean, we've not a lot of them, but the odd one here and there. The most memorable one was a Loudon Kirk. When I was with Riggin, we got a definite male Scottish saying yes after I asked a question. He said yes. A lot of people put these EVPs down and say, it's crap, blah, blah, blah. But and they say that all the apps are loaded with words, which is fair enough. Most of them are loaded with a certain amount of words, but they're not loaded with accents.
No, they're not. And I think, Scott, when I use an app, I ditch 99% of what comes through. I look for an accent. I look for a sentence. I look for something that 100% is different. And you do that yourself, is what you're just saying. When you're getting an accent coming through, that's not the app. That's something else.
Like my recurring husband, that's a very, very, very strong Scottish accent that comes through every time you pick up. I've got this thing, Rosie, you won't know, for a few years now, I've been followed wherever we go on investigations by somebody that keeps coming forward claiming to have been my husband, and he accuses me of murder, and he's get her and get the whore, and
no,
I'm a murderer. And it's really, he's not a loving husband, let's put it that way, but his accent is very, very, very strong, isn't it, Nicola? Wherever we pick up this.
And have you ever got a name from him, or?
Not yet. I first encountered him at Jedburgh Castle and Jail. He's come through there quite a few times. We're going back in a couple of weeks. The last time I was there, I was physically attacked. I felt
That's great. That was brilliant.
I was doubled up in pain.
There's a sympathy coming now.
And I was also attacked in Bannockburn House, and that's the only time I've had to leave an investigation. Nicola was there.
I was there as well.
Nicola got the EVP, and I'll put it up again. You can have a look at it tomorrow, Scott. And it was Nicola was actually there, and I was beginning to feel quite sick. This seems to be a current thing with me. If I start to feel sick, she puts her recorder on because she knows something's going to happen. And then I just start to feel this pressure around my neck and chest, and then Nicola switches her recorder on, and later you hear this very strong voice saying, "Get her, get the whore." Oh,
the last time we were there, Eileen was getting affected, and her husband goes, "Eileen, come on, get out now." I'm going, "Leave her, just leave her." Just go, just leave her.
And
then when everything's settled down, it says, "Eileen, do you want to leave now?"
well,
Are you okay, Eileen? At the end of the evening, were you okay?
Oh, it was fine. Aye.
Good. Nicola, how funny was it? Really good, but I'm going to say I got a 6 head. I love to loads of pages and flying off curbs and walking into buses.
No, actually, I have to say, Eileen's one of these people that you sort of go, she go, "Oh, I've been hit now." And anybody watching Eileen would think, "Oh," but I know Eileen doesn't say this unless something has happened. So my recorder is always going. So that's the first thing I review. And you can see, and then once it leaves Eileen, she's fine again.
Yeah.
I think the worst time I did see you affected was in Bannockburn House. So it was, because I remember I actually went outside with you. She was that bad. I actually went out with her. So, but it'll be interesting, because I think we're going back to Jedburgh soon, and I think that'll be the last time I'll go there for a while. So I'm sort of going hoping to see if we
See,
can get
yeah,
answers to who this person really is.
Are you hoping that Eileen gets punched in the face or something? Or, you know,
No, we've been
you know,
advised been advised by a friend of Eileen's for no females to go into the cells on their own. And I'm happy enough for that. But Eileen's quite up for it, so I'm not going to talk her out of it.
No,
not quite right. Well, go down, make sure you've got your cameras, recorders, everything, because I want to laugh.
I would like to know who he is just as much as anybody.
Absolutely, yeah.
I've never had a name. I just keep getting he's my husband and I'm a murderer. And
He's obviously somebody who's not too fond of you.
no,
It is awesome, though.
It's brilliant.
Oh, it is.
it's
Well, that night,
every time I got it at Torwood, got it at Bannockburn, got it at Chillingham.
God.
Same thing.
See, we were at a location called Don Stylus, which is a gym in Gosport. It's literally a man's gym. It was an old military hospital for the measles, I think. They had an outbreak of measles, I think. If Dan's still watching, he can quote me on this one, of what the gym is. But the land, I'm always a believer of the land. Stone tape theory is my big thing for that. And the land that is on, you go down to this little place called Monk's Walk. Now, it's said to believe that the monks walked through there. I don't know. It's just a story. But I walked into these woods. You walk out onto South Portsmouth bit now. You walk out Portsmouth and you can see there's this big tree, and I'm like, oh, and I'm being joked, and I know someone's hanging from that tree, and I'm feeling it. But it was like barbed wire was going down my throat, and I could taste metallic, and it's sick in my mouth, but I couldn't talk. Lucky enough, Jamie was with us, and he got me out of it really quickly. But automatically after I was talking, you know when you have a sore throat, and I always say I sound like a Roger, not a Rosie, because I'm a man that day, but you have that croaky man voice, and I automatically had that, and I'm like, I've got a really sore throat from this now, because it was like barbed wire going down my throat. But it was the feeling of someone hanging from the tree, and it was a pirate. And I can see it. I can see pirates, and I can see this pirate hanging. And then I automatically, but before I could really say, I already said that, and then it happened. And been back there since, nothing since. So it just shows every night's different, but would I want it again? Yeah, just not as bad.
Funny, I came across a meme a few weeks ago now, and it was something like, and I put it up on my page, and I tagged Nicola. Much as I love you, if you're starting to get attacked, I'm filming.
Yeah.
You see, the thing about it is where the real skeptical, the investigative side of me comes in. I'll watch like a hawk, and you're listening, and then you're going back and you're going, how were they, were they primed, were they this, you're sort of your whole head. Forgive me, I do love it when somebody, I do love it when it gets attacked. I'm sorry, but I do.
Guys, it brightens up your night. You know what I mean? It does brighten up your night. We've been, I wouldn't say we've been lucky so far, because we've never really had anything major. Sarah gets scratched. I think it was when we first started out in Greyfriars, and Laura got her back to what that means. No idea what that means. Laura got her bum felt at Alloway Cup. She was sitting there and she got butt felt. I've been tugged a couple of times. I felt somebody sitting on my left knee. Things like that. I've never had anything major, chronic,
I think too, Scott, I mean, if you videoed those investigations or anything, or you've got little or nothing, I wasn't overly expecting anything this time either, and but there was some lovely subtle EVPs that come out of it, and one was a friend of mine, Tricia, had went down with me, and she's a development, she's sort of developing her mediumship skills. She's in a circle and stuff like that. Beautiful lady. I'm sorry, I'm fiddling about with this phone because I don't know what's wrong with the charger. But turn around and she says, "Is that you touching my hair?" And straight behind, and the room was in silence, was his beautiful voice going, I like doing that. You know, that made my night. That made that drive down to East Drive worth it. Because I know for a fact, that was unexplainable in that room.
That's when you don't hear it. Obviously during an investigation, you're focused on everything else, and you don't hear it. We really lucky EVP wise and what we picked up. We did the train station up here last year or the year before, and we get quite a few EVPs, and Laura recorded them on her phone. And and with I think Sarah, Laura, and myself, it took us about a week to get through them all. But we were getting. There was one bit where we asked, where are you? And this woman's voice says, I'm in the corner. Straight out, and then we asked with a little girl's voice saying, can you hear my mum? And then we done the, can you knock 3 times? Obviously, we never heard any, but when we listened back to it, we heard 3 very faint knocks, very, very faint knocks, straight after we'd asked, knock 3 times, There's 3 times with that, obviously you don't, sometimes you hear bits and pieces, but it's mostly like EVPs. When the lady says, I'm in the corner. You think, well, how can you can't debunk that? Do you know what I mean? Because we ask a question and then we get an answer straight after it. I'm in the corner.
Yeah. The thing about that is when you go back and you listen to, it gives you something then to build your next investigation back at that location on. I mean, we were at that graveyard last week, and we said, could you tell us your? I said, can you tell us your name or something? I went, my name's Nick. I think goes, or my name. I goes, can you tell us your name? And there was a couple of seconds silence, and then what we thought was a skin. So we thought, is it our skin they're trying to say? So that pareidolia that we got laid the rest of our investigation, and we got nothing. But when we put it on the computer and I amplified it when I got home, it was Latin. It was esprago, which was basically telling me, please. It's like, how are you, please? Or what are you, please? So, I put it into translate, and it was basically telling me that I actually didn't say, what is your name, please? So it was that touch of Latin that was in that, and I went
to the Knights Templar.
Well, and it's even because there used to be a church there, a church on the grounds as well, and all services would have been in Latin, So that's something for us to build on, the next time we go back.
The other thing fascinates me is Hatchie's put up comments, Rosie, about South. I don't know if these mean anything to. Obviously, we go for Southampton, so we wouldn't know. I don't know.
People do some good. I'll have a look. Is that 10 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock in the morning? If it's 10 o'clock at night, I've got work at 7:30 the next morning. Bishop's Waltham is old school. It is, and it's got an amazing antique shop called Chesapeake. It's just Netley Abbey, literally just down the road from Netley Abbey where I live. Scott, you were talking about Netley earlier.
That's where that campsite is.
Netley Abbey, literally on the doorstep of that campsite.
All right.
Yeah, there's literally. I'll take you. Actually, keep putting more stuff up, and I'll take Scott. He's down in July.
The stream, my friend, is about really nothing in particular. We just come on and we just chit chat about paranormal, cooking, boy bands, you name it. We just chat about it. Yeah. The other thing is good is when you get spirit talking to another one.
Yeah.
We had that at London.
And they don't even know you're there. You catch them in a glimpse of talking. It's like I always explain to some people, I always use an example, just Aunt Peg doing her washing on a Wednesday. You're going to catch her smell, you can catch her singing on a Wednesday doing her washing. You're going to get those EVPs out there, because get the voice recorder out, because you can catch her doing it. I don't have an Aunt Peg, but someone does.
Or somebody should have an Aunt Peg, but it's when you get spirits that remember you. We've had so much of this at Loudon Kirk. I think maybe it's because we've been going there so long, we've been there so often that spirits get used to it. But we've had so much. I will take you, obviously, we take you and your man, Rosie. We've had EVPs where, you know, the long story short, some of the families that are buried there lived in cottages nearby. We've got access to the cottages. It's the original places where they lived. And there was one time I came back to the Kirkyard, we did an investigation. I says, I was up at the house and with a queer woman, Laurel kind of says, Sarah's watching it. The queer woman's voice came through the app saying it was either Scott's been up at the house or he's been up at the house. Now, they weren't talking to us.
No.
They were talking to somebody else.
But they're talking about you going up to that.
They're talking about we being up at the house. So that means that they're there and they're listening to what we're saying. And I said, he's been up at the house.
Oh, just it's
You
just
know,
the big world. I absolutely love it.
And it's like 2 years ago at Christmas, just before Christmas, we took a wee train, because we know there's kids there. We took a train and a wee doll, a wee angel doll thing. And we left it there and we went back in January. And I says, can you tell me what gifts we left for the kids at Christmas time? And we get back toy, doll, and train. And I sent it to different people, and they came back. They said, I sent it to Spig and what have you, and they said, I get toy, I get doll, and I get angel as well. So that just proves that they know what was left there.
That's amazing.
You know, and I'm not bragging. I was on the page. Folk can go and look at the ones way last year. But it just, to me, that's amazing when you get intelligent responses like that. You know, he's been up at the house.
Are we going to talk apps?
This was through that. This was through. I'm sure this was through the Laura's. I was going to say voice recorder. Through
That's
Laura's
brilliant.
phone. And it's when you get
No,
that.
I wasn't ditching, even if it had been an app. I wasn't ditching that either, because at the end of the day, I mean, an awful lot of people do ditch apps without actually ever really using them.
As well.
And as I say, any app I usually use the reverse audio apps. Sometimes I haven't used it in a while. I'll use an app that's totally in Spanish, you know? So if anything's going to communicate with me, it's going to have to speak English to me, because I don't understand anything else. But so I think some apps do get a bad name, and because you're recording and stuff, you know, you're picking up a lot more. You know, sometimes I mean, as I say, I wouldn't knock anybody for using them. Definitely wouldn't.
We use the Necrophonic, and it was GSI that recommended Spirit Talker. We tried that. It's 8 months and months ago now. We tried that Randa Nautica. How you pronounce it, Randa Nautica? It's an app. It's meant to, you put in the area that you live in, and I'll probably go this right, because maybe tech, but just not married. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know the one you're talking about.
You put in your area, and this gives you certain haunted locations on a map.
Right.
So Sarah and I done it one. I think Laura was with as well. And we went in the cab one night. Do you know what? We're going to go and try this and see what happens. We've done it as a live. And the first one, it took us to a farm. It was a working company. It was a farm. You know, they were still open. You know. And I think the other one was a bunch of houses and stuff like that. You know. So we tried 3 or 4 and thought, this is crap. You know, let's go. And we never tried it again. No, I'm not knocking it. You know, it might work for some people. You know, but I'm just saying we tried it, and same as Paratech, we tried as well.
Yeah.
And we were driving the bypass, and it was giving us words like Einstein, professor, stuff like that. You know, we're in the middle of the bypass. You know, why are we getting this back? You know, and so some apps are crap, as we all know.
So we've used Necrophonic before. I haven't used it for a while actually, but one of the times I have used it, we used it at the Mausoleum, which is in Brazelton, and it was me and Jamie just there that night. Now the location was renowned for American soldiers on that land as well, and we were talking, and it was quite unusual to have soldiers there. I've never witnessed talking to soldiers there before, but we know they were around, and some things were coming through. We were just like, it's American soldiers, and on the necrophonic, all you heard was "We're here" in a really strong, thick American accent, and I've not heard an American accent on it since. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, again, it's unexplainable. I'm not going to tell you it's paranormal, because I don't know. But is it a coincidence that we were picking up on American soldiers? That was mine and Jamie's senses, and using the cat balls that were flashing off for their yes and no answers, and then the necrophonic says we're here. It was just I think they're good and they're bad. I think that's the annoying part about the apps, is how can you get something so good from it when the apps, it's an app. Your phone's a phone device. It's not a ghost equipment. It's not £200 spirit box. It's a £700 mobile phone. So how do
some of the phones are dear. Laura said Carrie voted Sarah and I go to Colwell. That's true, because at Colwell we got a lot of Scottish accents through. And I think we kept getting the name Stevie or Stephen or something like that.
The voice recorder on the mobile phone is so sensitive. It'll pick up conversations in the next room. You know, it's free on this high-tech bit of equipment that you have in your hand. Why go out and pay a fortune for another device?
I know.
Some devices that are sort of top of the range, definitely you're going to 100% get an EVP with, as because you're recording the crackles. If you can't actually hear the person who goes, "Hello, is anybody here?" and it comes back, "Hello," you don't recognize their voice coming back at you, but all of a sudden you're here. Oh yeah, it's the crackles of why.
That's it. I mean, folks spend thousands of pounds on tech. Yeah, offensive about certain things, but why? You don't need it. Spirit doesn't give a toss if you've got, an £800 camera or, EVP recorder or whatever, or a 30 pence ping pong, but they don't care.
I think a lot of the best EVP we've had have been what Nico's got on her phone.
I don't use anything else. No. I don't use anything else. People laugh at me. I don't trade in my own mobile phones. I keep them because there's no SIMs in them. There's nothing on them. To me, they're basically dead phones. They're my recorders.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing going to interfere with them. They're my recorders, and they'll pick up everything. Pick up sometimes things you don't want to hear.
An extra phone storage for your photos.
Well, see, my phone recorder picked up a mail loud and cut saying that was fascinating as well, because the cottages where these people used to live as a farm, that's where they were farmers, and the mail says, "I'm at the farm." And the owner of the farm, the owner of the cottages, has told us about bits and pieces that have been happening. The guy's not got nothing to gain. He doesn't come on camera or anything, but he's told us about certain things that have happened up at the farm. And so, when you get stuff with that, I'm at the farm.
Yeah.
Right, well, it's not an everyday thing that people say.
No.
How long have you guys been doing this stuff for? How long have you been doing it for, guys? Ladies, sorry. Nicola needs a calendar. Nicola, she needs a calendar.
Go on.
I've been 15 years. I don't look that old.
The first time I went out, it must be about pushing 20 years now.
Oh.
I'm sitting trying to think.
Nicola's still counting.
From a going out investigating, why I think probably just about 10 years. If I go back.
We're the babies then, because we've only been doing this. This will be our 4th year come July. So we're the babies. You're all oldies. We're the newbies.
No, but what does it matter? There's nothing I love more than going out with somebody that's never been out in an investigation before, because they're fresh eyes.
Thank you very much.
Fresh eye.
I might get your name wrong, buddy. Kitty.
Sounds good.
Um,
I said my
Cow with
first.
kitten kitty. Cow with kitten kitty. Oh, that's a nice.
I know Kate, Ireland's right on top of the world, isn't she? But we can't say.
I say my first investigation was on the Isle of Wight, so obviously right down south. It was an old mental asylum, which is now turned into flats. Before it got turned into flats, one of the contractors knew a lady who is a medium, so she was carrying out the investigation. So we booked on. It was my first ever one, so I was like, my friend said about going. I was like, yeah, all right then. I like weird and wonderful. We just had to book a hotel for the night because it was till, I think it was like, I think we finished at 1 a.m. And we started at 6 p.m. We arrived there during the day to just have a look outside before we can get in, went for dinner, and we got in, and I did a lone vigil. I have balls of steel, and they said they've got a camera rolling, so there's a little red light, so don't worry about that. So I sat on the floor, I got the EVP out, I got the voice recorder out, and all I felt was these big, I feel they're big, but these hands coming out of the wall, grabbing me, because I'm sat on my bum with my knees up, leant against the wall, and I felt these arms come in, trying to pull me through the wall. I was gone. I was like, those balls of steel have gone out of the window. I can just remember, I don't even know I don't know. Was it imagination? Was it just like the fear of being on my own? It was what I felt. The lady, the medium, said, she just said to me there was something on my phone that we need to talk about later on in time. I was like, I didn't understand that. 4 years down the line, I then understood what she meant. And yeah, it was just that literally I got the paranormal bug. That was it. Now I'm 33 on the 27th of February, and I am loving life.
Shit, we'll need to buy you a cake.
Colin the caterpillar.
Caterpillar cake has the job done. What were you ladies? The gentleman's asking what's calling the caterpillar. You can get a vegan one now, seemingly. No offence to vegans, it's their thing, but no. What inspired? Are you drinking alcohol, Nicola? Oh, Bailey. Oh, no, you can keep that. With Granny's milk. Anyway.
Oh, I love Baileys.
Just sipping.
You know, you can get mint Baileys now.
Oh, no, Granny's milk. What inspired you ladies to get into this? This gentleman's asking.
Content. What type of content?
I'm not going to go into the whole story about it because I think I told you before. When I was 19, I had the most horrific experience. It was full-blown poltergeist activity. It was the whole lot. And but around about that time, I was dabbling in card reading, and I showed you by age because the tarot you went got your cards read. And I thought it was a little crap. I went, "You're wasting your money. It's a little crap. Blah blah blah. Anybody can do that." He says, "Well, if anybody can do it, do it." I threw out the deck of cards. I don't know where it came from. I told this girl this stuff about herself, about go home, check the third drawer, your dressing table, there's a letter there, your boyfriend's cheating on you, blah, blah, blah. And I remember going, why the fuck did I say that? Because I don't know where it came from. It wasn't me, but it was true. So after that, everybody was coming to me to get their cards read. And it was actually getting to the point where it was actually quite frightening to me because I didn't know what was happening. So then we had this horrific night in the nursery because I'm a retired mental health nurse, so I love asylums. And I'm quite passionate when I hear people are going on about the abuse and that, because I'm going through shit. That's shit, you know. Practices were best at the time. They might be horrific in our view now, but at the time they were supposed to be the best treatments. So anyway, this horrible experience, and I swore blind. That was it. Closed everything down. Nothing to do with paranormal, everything else, until I was moved here 14 years ago. I was coming over the Forth Road Bridge, and it was 7:30 in the morning, and I swerved to avoid this black mass that was coming from the side of the road. Actually, I just didn't know what it was. It was this big black mass. I was swerved, nearly caused an accident. And I'm going, fuck, I think I've just seen a ghost, you know. Hadn't got a clue about the land where it was driving past. It was driving past a sort of Inverkeven direction where there had been a massive battle. And that was it. That was me hooked again. After avoiding everything for about 20 years, that was me straight back in. Looked up a local team at the time and went out a few occasions with them, got hooked, and I sort of went, nah. Left them because it didn't fit what, it was sort of, I'm the leader, you shall do what I tell, and it was, don't speak, and I'm going, fuck that, I'm out to enjoy myself, I'm out to experience this. So started going out me a little bit, and then joined various teams, but that's it. That's how I got into it. Any advice I give anybody, if you're really interested, go out on your own with a recorder.
Aye, just go yourself and be yourself.
You don't have to go looking anywhere. I suppose at the haunted, go out to old locations. Don't even have to be, and I never ever do anything in my own home. That's the one place secret. I don't never call out my own home or anything like that. But it's not the first time I've been out for a dander out the road and going, is there somebody here with me? I'm recording. You just be amazed sometimes what you get.
Just
sorry. Hope you understood that.
Final you. I don't even know what that means, final you. And I've even been on the Baileys. Finally, Eileen. I can't see what I was going to say.
I mean, I've always had an interest going back. The earliest I can remember, I must have been 6 or 7, and my granny was from Liverpool, and she lived in a really old house that had bomb damage and blah, blah, in the Tubrick area of Liverpool, if anybody knows Liverpool. And we used to get packed off for the summer holidays, and I used to sleep on a little sort of put-you-up bed in the same room as my granny, and she had a rocking chair in the corner of this bedroom, a really old-fashioned, like cycle-looking rocking chair. And of course, I was only very young, so I was going to bed about 7 o'clock at night, and at 7:30 on the dot, every single night when I was lying in this little camp bed, the rocking chair started to go. Every night at 7:30. And that sparked my interest. And I mentioned it to my granny. And she was friends, it's like in Liverpool, she was friends with this other woman that we called Auntie Lil. And she was actually a spirit medium. And she started to tell me things about myself that nobody knew. Nobody knew, even though I was very young, I could appreciate the fact that how did she know all these things? But even my granny didn't know, because my granny lived in Liverpool and I lived in Edinburgh. So she didn't know a lot of my life in Edinburgh. And that really kind of grabbed me from a very, very young age. And then, of course, you grow up and you get caught up and you start work and blah, 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 blah. And then I was a carer for quite a long time to Tommy's father. So I didn't really have a lot of spare time until he passed away with Alzheimer's. And a friend of ours had been talking about Chillingham Castle. And we started to go down to Chillingham to the organised investigations in Chillingham. And we went down quite regularly, and it was absolutely amazing. We have never had a bad night in Chillingham. Absolutely amazing. And then, of course, as you did, you watched all the programmes on TV, and Most Haunted, for all it's cried out now and scoffed at, it definitely sparked an interest for a great many people. And I went out on a few investigations with them as well. And their investigations were really quite good. Nothing like the TV. Their events that they did were
Never is.
They never were, but they were very, very good. And they were very nice people. They were very, very, very nice people. So, in fact, Jedburgh Castle and Jail was the first one I went out to with them. And we went to several other places, can't remember, Inverary, the bunker, secret bunker. And then I thought, well, let's have a look about and see what else there is more locally. And I started to get involved in local groups. And like Nicola, went to this group, went to that group, didn't like the way they worked particularly, And it must have been about how long ago, Nicola? 3 years ago, I was ready to jack it all in, because I was with one very big group, and let's just say it didn't go well. And
That didn't turn out as expected.
I was just completely disillusioned. I thought, and I was ready to just wash my hands and walk away. And Nicola pulled me back, and that was how Quantum Seekers Paranormal was born.
Oh.
Nicola said you
So
could
don't walk
me.
away, do it for yourself. So you have control over what you do, when you do it, how you do it, and you don't have to conform to anybody else's rules and expectations and motivation. It was, my motivation is not financial, and that was my main bugbear with a lot of groups. Their motivation is and remains financial, and that for me was the root of my disillusionment and discontent with the paranormal world. But Nicola pulled me back by the hair. and
So each time I ever pull her back in the paranormal, any other time I'm throwing her in there with a recorder behind her.
Get in there.
You've never looked back. Me, I discount it because I've always been a morbid git, basically. Do you know what I mean? That's it. There's been a morbid git all my days, and if you're going to start in the paranormal, just get yourself with a torch and a phone. That's all you need, and forget about ghost adventures. We'll forget all that balls. Just get yourself and do your own thing. You know what I mean? But I think we'll wind it up there later. We're heading for the 2-hour mark.
Wait,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
No, I haven't said that, didn't I? So what's up next for you ladies? Who wants to go first? Who's going to go?
Well, we're doing an investigation next Saturday. In fact, we're going back to Jedburgh Castle and Jail. And although our friend Christopher is quite adamant that ladies shouldn't be on their own, he's a very, very good spirit medium. I'm very, very keen to find out who this charming
individual
is.
is.
Yeah.
It's got this fascination.
You've heard that here first now.
So I'm up for it. So I'm
not to blame.
Next week to see if I have a recurrence of what happened.
We'll be looking forward to your results.
Yes.
So that's up next for you as well, Nicola.
Well, it is, and then I have to arrange. You're going to laugh at this. I have to arrange because I've promised my 2 granddaughters to take them to Blackness Castle so they can get their rods and the pendulum out. So I'm looking forward to that. I haven't made a date yet, but it'll be quite soon to get them there. They're amazing. So they are.
What were you, Rosie?
8 and 11, and 2 great wee investigators. You've got this total skeptic, and you've got the total. So I just sit back and let them do what they want.
Yeah,
they're quite cute.
Do ghost occurrences happen a lot? Is there something to prevent or tickle at it to be able to talk to it? Spirit talks to you whenever they feel like it. That's as simple as that. There's no good way or bad way, right or wrong. Spirit wants to talk to you, they will. That's basically it. So what about you, Rudy? I know something's happened to you. Birthday, caterpillar cake.
Getting on a plane, heading to Glasgow. Flying from Luton. Yeah. Do you know what? That is literally the next thing. It is. So I've got a weekend off this weekend, which is quite nice. My partner's on early shift, so we get lovely afternoons together. But yeah, we're heading. Me and my partner's going up to Scotland to Scott and Sarah and his little wee one, and we're going to be
wee one.
His little wee one. We're going to be hopefully going to Edinburgh Castle. Hopefully the Vault. Scott's going to be taking us to Loudon.
Loudon. No Loudon. Loudon. Aye.
Loudon.
That sounded really Irish, Rosie, the way you said that, Loudon.
Well, there's a little confession to make that my dad's family is from Ireland, so.
Oh, well, you have the best Irish accent here.
Yay! I'll take that. It's way down his line. So we've done my DNA stuff, and it confirmed that it was in his family, that they're from Ireland. So it was like, yes. I was like, and my mum's Romany Gypsy. So I'm a big mix. big mix. But for next for us is coming up to Scotland, and I cannot wait. Or I can wait.
I can't wait to see it. I've been watching you on your lives. So, well.
Well, we've got a couple of things planned for them. Don't worry, we've got a couple of things. I'm needing my driveway cleaned with a toothbrush, so that's one thing. And I get new scissors for you to cut the grass, so that's the second thing. I've got stuff. I've got activities planned for them. You know, driveway.
Before you say cheerio, Scott, I just want to say to Rosie, I absolutely love your description of the wee auntie sitting talking away on the washing day. You know, that description you about picking up EVPs about the wee woman, because as I turn around, I says to Eileen, when I start to review audio, I'm that wee woman, because I'm sitting talking away to myself all the time. So I absolutely love that description, because you're 100% right. You know, people are like that. We talk away to ourselves all the time, either in our heads. But I talk out all the time. Like, but it was absolutely lovely meeting you, Rosie.
Yeah.
Well, we'll try. If they're not busy to meet, we'll try and squeeze them out. We'll try and squeeze them out to Dunfermline.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
can maybe.
If not, give us a shout. Now come up to
So we're there
Glasgow, no
too,
bother.
so we're playing on the 26th.
Eileen, you can
we
come
tried
to
on
the
26th,
backwoods as well, dear.
Yes,
You can. You even though you're from the East
And we
Coast, you're
fly
still
back on the
welcome.
27th.
We hold no prejudice to the East Coast.
I'm the East Coast.
Why, so you? You're for you can come and all that.
you're Belfast.
Belfast.
Belfast. I actually worked in Belfast for 25 years. So did.
I actually ended up in Ireland by accident once. I've been to Ireland a few times, but the first time I ever went, I ended up there by accident.
Oh, well, I think that's another whole chapter.
Well, I tell one bit of that. The first time I was ever in Scotland was in Carstairs.
Well, that says it all. That
That's the high security forensic uniform patients.
Rosie will know what Carstairs is. It's quite a place, you know. So the fact that
criminally insane. I can go back to doing that. I used to do voluntary work in a big psychiatric unit that's no longer here, and they had a section for court admissions, you know, people who had been deemed to be criminally irresponsible and committed. And I was only 17 at the time, and I got called in by the boss woman, and she said, you were seen last week sitting, it was like a posh hotel down the road, you were seen having a drink with this person in the bar last week. And I got on my high horse and I said, what's it got to do with you? Because I'd gone out for a drink with this doctor. He was lovely. And he chatted me up when I was doing my voluntary work. Do you want to go out for a drink after you finish? Yes. So it was the Maybury roundabout, Maybury Hotel, and I'm in there. And the next week, of course, I got pulled up. And she said, I said, well, what's it got to do with you? What I do in my spare time? We think he should know that he's not a doctor. He was admitted by the courts 15 years ago for murdering his mother and his 3 sisters. And I'm sitting in the Maybury with my gin and tonic with a mass murderer. And
they're such nice people. But then you get that. You see all these serial killers and stuff like that. You know, when they finally get caught, people always say, "Oh, they were so nice."
Well, he was.
You know, he was a lovely neighbour. You know,
talk about with a white coat on and a stethoscope. So I mean,
there's I know we're quitting here, but if you're into your serial killers or you're into your sort of curious death type thing, there's a brilliant documentary on Netflix, and there's a doctor. She did Lizzie Borden, you know, who actually, you know, and there's her. She's she goes into whole pathology. They've everything. I must get the name. It's like Curious Deaths, but they have. She's like a forensic investigator. They have like a CSI person as well, you know, so to do all the sort of putting the data and stuff. And then they have a retired person that used to be over Scotland Yard, and it's absolutely fantastic. The Lizzie Borden one, I thought I knew. Well, shows you. I thought I couldn't learn anything else about the Lizzie Borden case until I actually watched this documentary, and there is stuff on it that had never been aired before, So it's a curious deaths. It's on the documentary, and it's curious. Oh, there's curious and weird deaths or something. But Lizzie Borden's the first one she does, and it's really worth watching.
Yeah,
I'll
Just got to share that with you because I do love the serial killers and stuff. And
So they are. No, I don't love serial killers, but yeah, I love the kind of stories.
Yeah, you love to find out what made them that way, what led up to that, because each and every one of us is. Ted Bundy was a family man. Every single one of us is capable of murder.
Yeah.
Really, at the end of the day, under the right circumstances.
She's such a joy, isn't she? I love serial killers and we're all capable of murder. Such a joy.
The trouble is, you can walk past anyone. Like, what does a murderer look like? It's just what does anyone look like to any profile name that's kind of out there? What do they look like? So you can walk past them any time at any day. It's just, it's scary.
That's true. I could be a serial killer.
Andrea can go first.
On that note, I wish you good night.
Yeah. On that note, we'll wind it up, folks. Thank you to everybody who came in to chat.
Nice to meet you, Rosie.
Thank you.
In the space of the last hour, he's went from being Keith Duffy to a serial killer, so
I know it's
we
good.
haven't done too bad.
A baldy serial killer. Baldy serial killer.
You, Rosie. I'll chat to you later. See you later, Scott. Bye.
Yeah. See you after, folks. Take care. Bye. Bye. Where's my thing?
Log off. Oh.